Okay, welcome to what is the fourth live stream talking about JMRI, Java Model Railroad Interface. I'm the host, John. I'm usually not seen very much on my channel, and while I'm waiting for people to pop in, I'm just going to say to my subscribers a big thank you. You've probably wondered what on earth I've been up to for the last few months. And primarily, apart from working during COVID, I have most of the time been fully employed up until November. Now unemployed following redundancy, but I was having to work and quite busy. So things change. I'm looking at other opportunities at the moment. But primarily, here we are, Wednesday afternoon, 2 o'clock. You'll be very welcome to join in the chat if you wanted to. I just encourage people who want to learn more about JMRI to join in the conversation and learn about it. It's an open source community. I don't own the software or anything like that, and I don't even claim to be an expert in it, although I've been trying to use it now, particularly in a simulated form, so not directly connected to a layout, but just testing things out for months now. So I know a little bit about things, and it's a way of learning together. Yeah, so we have somebody viewing, so you're very welcome to comment in the chat. I will endeavour to keep an eye on the chat while we're doing things. Anfield Road, layout in the loft. Hi to you. Thank you for joining us. How are you doing? Hope life is good with you, and hope you can hear me okay. Could you give me just give me some feedback on the sound quality? We've got second person as well now, so that's brilliant. I'm just chatting away for a moment. I'm thinking that we might get Roy and possibly Richard coming on to chat. If anyone else would like to, then you're welcome to attempt to join in. I'm not exactly sure what the process is with StreamYard. If somebody can tell me, that would be fantastic. Other than knowing that you can do it through the channel. Whether there's a button that appears on the screen. Sound is good, pic is good, that's great, thank you. Yeah, so you know, people are welcome to join in. StreamYard does allow some pretty good chat capability, so in terms of actual video conferencing. Roy, trying to get joined but can't get on. Right, and that's my telephone, which I think I've stopped. Which pressing the stop button doesn't do anything to. Yes, I'd like to be able to prevent that happening. Roy, right, I will send an invitation to you by email right now. So and Richard as well. So hopefully you'll get that instantaneously. It looks like Richard is going to be coming in as well, so that's great. So click on the link, guys, and we'll see you in here any second. If anyone knows how to actually switch these kinds of Panasonic phones, these things, onto silent, must be something in the menu somewhere. I don't know where it is. They're not very intuitive at all, are they? And we've long lost the instruction book, so apologies about that. Roy's here. Welcome, Roy.
I'm on. All right.
Good job, Roy. Thank you.
Yeah, I was able to get on, but only by your invitation.
Yeah. Maybe there's a way of doing it. I'll have to check, and if anyone knows, tell me, because I don't know at the moment. There must be a way of clicking and requesting to join, maybe in the chat somewhere. if somebody finds a button, please let me know, or click it and join in and tell us. Okay, I think I've just mailed Richard back as well, Roy. Did you? You probably saw that as well then, because that was in the same email. So hopefully he'll be on. Thank you for your emails and your progress you've been making, your progress reports. I'm just looking at Anfield Road's comments. Can you get comments up, Roy, so you can see them as well? I think you could last time. He says he's working on his let and got you on my laptop. Is that like a laboratory coat? Oh no, laptop. Ah, you can put Lynn in the chat. I think you need to learn to type, mate. But Lynn. Oh, link. I know what you mean. Link. Oh yes, you said that. Great. Put link in the chat. Ah, right. That's an idea, isn't it? What a cunning idea. Okay, we'll see what happens if I do that. I'll probably get all sorts of people turning up then. But there you are. There's the link in the chat. So if anyone else wants to connect, they can do it. Good
I'm
idea.
getting a very bad delay.
Are you?
I'm going to log out and come back in again. Restart my system.
Sure. Yeah, okay. Okay, well, I'll chat by myself for a moment. I know that Richard has been onto the JMRI forum asking a question about signalling, particularly using signal heads in JMRI and masts. I'll steal his thunder a bit here because I'll tell you that it's been suggested to him by somebody else that if he's already created mast. Oh, he's here himself. There we are. I'm talking about him. And he turns up. Hi, Richard. I don't know if you've been listening to what I've been saying in your absence. I've been talking about you.
Should I close my ears?
No, not at all. I saw your post on the JMRI forum. Right. Yeah, about single mast, and I saw the response to that as well.
Yeah.
So they're suggesting that if you've already created signal heads, then you can use those on head-driven masts. Is that the right expression?
Yeah. Evidently, yeah. I did a quick look at it last night, and I saw where it was possible to enter the signal heads I created. I haven't done it yet, but yeah, I checked that out. And evidently somebody else, which I haven't looked at, gave me some stuff on how to go directly to signal masts.
Good. Yeah. Good.
What that means is, it was David Sand's suggestion, since I have the signal heads working. What that means is you have to use SSL to some extent, and then enter the results in terms of the signal heads which you've created into SML.
Right.
But SML is interesting. It's more interesting than SSL.
Yeah, Richard. I'm guessing, like myself, sometimes if I don't turn my laptop in the right way, I'm just wondering if there's a different format for showing us on the screen. Maybe that one. That might be better. There we are.
Yeah. I'm more horizontal than
vertical. Yeah, so you feel you're making progress. Sorry, I was kind of a little distracted then when you were talking. So,
right,
yeah.
I'm making a lot of progress. There are a couple of things. For example, SML forces you to have the turnouts in their own block. You have
Right.
to do it that way. The second thing that SML seems to require, but I'm not absolutely sure, is if I have a dead end track section. I'm not sure what the correct word for that is. A siding.
Siding, yeah, siding's in.
A siding, but
Or a spur in the sights in, yeah.
A spur. You have to put a signal at the end of the spur. It could be a virtual signal.
Yeah.
And doesn't change, and the signal will always be red.
Yeah.
But that seems to be quite handy for SML, since it will see that signal and put I put a signal mast ahead of that in the turnout leading onto the spur.
Yeah. Yeah. You can set them up automatically or manually.
Right.
Anfield Road is coming into the stream, guys. So we have a new come. I'm going to add him in now. Hopefully. Hi.
Hello, John. My name's actually Lee. I was meant to change it.
Leo. Welcome, Leo. Lee. I'm sorry, Lee.
It's okay, John.
I should know that by now.
StreamYards is quite interesting to use. I use it a lot for doing my streams. It is an interesting one. There's all different formats with it. I just thought I'd come up just show my face. I do a lot with StreamYards. I find it a good platform to use.
Yeah, good. Yeah, I was advised to go for StreamYard, and it's good. Can I just check people's volume levels? I've just turned a couple of you down just to level things out a little bit. It's always difficult to know how loud I am against other people. So
you're acceptable to me.
Yeah.
Mine's probably okay as it is, or is it not?
I turned you down slightly, Roy, but and I've just turned Lee down a bit as well. So otherwise, I think if it all sounds good to you now, that's great.
Yeah, it all sounds good to me.
Yeah, good. Thanks to me. I've gone onto the comments field, but I can't find anywhere where I can type anything in. It just seems to be blank at the bottom side.
Yeah, right, Roy.
Yeah.
What you want to do? Are you on a laptop or a computer?
I'm on a laptop.
Right. Go to the YouTube. Bring the chat up for YouTube, and you've got a bit where you can pop the chat out, and you can pop the chat next to StreamYards.
Hang on. So if I go into YouTube.
Yeah. Go into YouTube, and
you that's a way to do it. Yeah.
And pop your chat up. You can put your chat next to the actual stream.
Where's the chat in YouTube?
I want to go to YouTube.
Right.
I have to open up
basically, you go to it. You've got to go to his live. You're watching his live, aren't you?
Yeah.
Have you got YouTube on with his live? Where you've got top chat, you want to go on live chat. Make sure it's on live chat. Then you've got three dots next to the live chat. Click on that and it'll say participant and pop out chat. You want to click on pop out chat.
I've brought up YouTube. I'm not sure where I see any.
No, I don't see anything there. I'm on YouTube.
It should be there, because I've just popped out the chat now. It's on you. You've got to have his chat, his live up.
Yeah.
You've got 3 dots.
I don't know. I don't see any 3 dots any place.
YouTube.
Why do they look for the 3 dots, Lee?
Basically, you know your live, you're watching, when you watch people's lives, yeah, you can see the live. You've got 2 versions of chat. There's top chat and live chat. Make sure they're on live chat.
I don't see anything.
You get better comments through live chat than top chat.
All I see is private chat and comments.
You're on YouTube. You're looking on StreamYards, aren't you?
I'm looking at StreamYard. I'm not on YouTube at all.
Yeah, you can't. You've got to go through. You've got to go through YouTube to get the comments, so you can comment and pop it out.
I've gone onto YouTube. I've gone onto my subscriptions, and I've gone to John PW2 22. And right, where do we go from there?
You should be able to get his. Have you not got his chat up? Have you not, John? Have you, Roy? Have you got his chat up?
I can only seem to chat private.
Yeah. You right. Basically, you want to have his. You need his YouTube, his main chat up. You want his YouTube chat.
Hang on, I've got it.
Yeah,
excellent.
You got. Then you at the top. Let me just bear with me a minute.
Glad you're here, Lee.
Hey, I've seen you a few times, John, and I know they can't comment on stuff, and it's hard. Have you worked it out now, Roy?
I just sent a chat to everybody. Did you see it?
Roy says got it, but you're not Roy. You're Richard.
It's not easy to find though.
Did you see the chat I just sent?
I think I should be monitoring it as well, but I don't want to break my broadband because I'm hosting.
Okay, I had to go on to
believe it or not, though, John, even though you're hosting it, right? If you get kicked out the stream will still run without you and give you a chance to get back into the stream.
Yeah.
I
know that because I've been kicked out of my stream a few times.
And somebody just popped in with some porn.
It's all right. I've blocked him.
Okay.
Yeah. Everyone, we're kind of not focusing on topic A of the conversation. We're on topic B, I think, at the moment. So let's go back to topic A, if that's right. But I'd like to first of all talk to Leah for a second, just because we don't know what your experience is with JMRI at all, and it's one of the primary things we're discussing on here. And obviously, you might be a fantastic expert or something.
I actually am only just starting to look at JMRI.
Yeah.
I've only just started recently looking at it because I'm only just recently getting me to layout running, and I am going down the road of the JMLR, but it's just going to take time to get it.
Yeah. Have you got a layout at the moment? Then it's all built and stuff.
Yeah, I'm actually in the loft now. This is my. I'll move the camera. I'm in the loft now. I've got a big 26-foot layout in the loft.
I think I have looked at your channel. So
yeah, you have, John. You have.
I must admit, I watch so many videos. I do enjoy watching stuff. Sometimes I find I've subscribed to a channel, and then months later I'll realise I've not been seeing the updates and I've missed out on all the content. And
well, I've recently hit 400 subs.
Have you? Well done. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, you could do with one thing I will say, John, if you're going to do this, to save you monitoring the chat, you could do with making someone a moderator.
Hang on, we need that. Yeah, definitely.
I'm willing to do it for you, John, no problem.
Well, you'll be welcome to. I don't know how you do it, but definitely need somebody because we're getting some idiots on, aren't we?
Yes, you are. Right, go to your YouTube, and bear with me a minute. I need to go to, and where you see my name.
Yep.
You can actually create me as a mod. You have the 3 dots, and it should be able to create me as a moderator. Does it give you the option?
Just getting there.
Yeah, you're getting a lot of people that are coming in.
How do people come across this by accident?
Yeah, the thingy. Is it giving you the option, John?
Oh, yeah, for goodness sake. Next to your name, where am I looking?
Right, where my name is, you'll see the dots that are next to the name, won't you? When you click on it, is it giving you an option to make me a mod?
I'm sorry, I'm not getting you. What do you mean?
Right.
In StreamYard?
On
in
YouTube,
StreamYard?
you've got to go. No, you've got to go through YouTube to create the moderator. You can't do it through StreamYard.
So I'm into YouTube. Okay, I'm on my channel.
Yeah. Are you? Have you got the chat up of your your YouTube live?
Well, I'm okay. I've gone onto my. I'm on my channel now. Yeah.
I know it's getting off the.
Yes,
topic.
I have. Yes, I got. Yes, I got the chat up. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll see next to my name. Go next to my name. You'll see the dots that are next to my name. You should be able to click on it and add me as a moderator. Have you got it?
Yes, I've done it.
Thank you, John.
Okay.
I'll watch the comments. I'll let you get back to your conversation in hand.
Hopefully, there's a delay between live stream and
YouTube.
Going out. The recording and the live.
Yeah, you made me blue now, John. So I'm blue. I'll watch the chat for you. Not a problem.
Okay, lovely.
It means I'll.
Thank you.
It's okay, John. You can get back to your topic on the JMRI.
Is it? Do we know what the time delay is between it being recorded and going out? I mean, how much time do you get to remove stuff?
Basically, the time delay between StreamYard and YouTube, there's a big 3-second delay. Yeah, I know that. I use StreamYards a lot for me streams. I do a regular stream on StreamYards, and the delay is unbelievable.
No, we've lost Roy again, haven't we?
Yeah, Roy's dropped down again.
5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Okay. No problem, John. But I can watch the chat for you.
Well, appreciate your support, Lee. Yeah. We're all kind of amateurs here, aren't we? And it's nice to have somebody who knows what they're doing.
Yeah. No. Over that, over the sharing option, you notice there's another sharing option where you can share videos.
Yes. Yeah. I can. Share. I'm certainly share my screen, but probably. Yeah. Are you talking about sharing videos from YouTube or?
No, you can share. If you had a video if you've got a layout yourself, you could share a video with friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just block somebody else then.
Yeah. Well, John, I'll jump out anyway.
You too. Okay.
I'll watch the chat for you.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you for having me up. One thing I will say, over the StreamYard key that you just put in, once someone's come up, you can remove that out of YouTube.
Yeah. Okay.
Save anyone. But if you want, when they're in the basement, you can actually if they haven't got their camera on, you can refuse them to come up from the basement.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll let you back
absolutely.
To your topic.
Yeah, I was aware of that. I did look into some of that earlier. Yeah, so I'm aware of that.
Yeah, no problem, John. No, actually, when the streams around.
Roy's back. Yeah.
Roy's back.
Welcome back, Roy.
Welcome back, Roy.
You're all right. We lost you.
Yeah, it's just a mishmash of sound. I can't make out anybody speaking.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a total mishmash of sound. I can't hear anybody saying anything proper. I can hear me speaking.
I can hear you also.
5 seconds after I've said it.
Oh, well, I hear you when you say it immediately.
Oh, I've just turned you down a little bit more because you're still coming through quite loud. But there's an automatic echo cancellation which is turned on for some people and not on for other people. So seems to be better off in some situations. So I'm not quite sure whether there's something strange about your setup.
That echo situation, you want to click not to have that echo. You want to.
Well, I'll try that. See what happens. Try that, Roy.
Hello, Andy. Andy Andrews. Hello, Andy. I don't know if you've seen him around.
Andy Ambrose. Hi, Andy. Yeah, yes, I have seen it. Yeah.
I've been up with him on panels. He knows me. I'll let you get back to your topic anyway, John. It's going off your topic.
That's not a worry. Appreciate your support, Lee.
No problem. Well, next time, if you do want any help with StreamYard, in my about page, my email is there. Email me. I am willing to help you. Not a problem.
Brilliant.
I am
Thank you.
very good on with the StreamYards if you've got problems.
Okay. Appreciate it, mate. Cheers.
No problem. I'll be in chat anyway. I'll let you get back to your conversation. See you again, Roy and Richard.
Cheers.
No problem.
Okay, yeah. There was a lot of noise then, I think, coming from Lee's line, but I know that seems to have stopped now. So quite a noisy background, but it's a lot calmer now.
The only thing that can make noise around here is my cats.
Anyway, let's get back to the topic in hand. First of all, I've heard a little bit by Richard about your updates. Roy, how are you doing? Can you hear me?
No, I don't.
Roy, can you hear? No, can you hear me, Roy?
Rubbish.
Oh.
I can hear you.
Yeah, but you're about. Yes, but about 5 or 10 seconds later than when you say it. It's very delayed.
Have you still got YouTube open? Yeah. If you, well, let me suggest, Richard, before he does that, if you've still got YouTube, you're saying no, you haven't. You've shut that down now. I mean, if you're running 2 tabs with YouTube as well as StreamYard, oh, he's gone. Okay. Well, did you want to share your panel with us, Richard, to show us exactly
the SML panel?
What you've been doing. Yeah, have you got it there?
I have an SML panel up. Let's see. I'll bring it up. 1 second. Let me share the screen. SML dining. Okay. Panels. Local. Bring up the panel. Load panel. Load panels. Auto logic. I have several panels. Load. There. That should do it. Now let's see if I can share my screen. Share screen. Share screen. There. Oops. Share.
Yeah, it's coming through.
Okay. Okay.
That's it.
Okay, that's my SML panel. Let me do a reset of that. There, that does the reset. Now, what do you see when I've done the reset? One, both points are in the continuous direction. Here and here. I have a virtual, for the moment, consider all these to be virtual signals. I have a virtual signal here, which indicates that it's the end of the track.
Yeah. Have you attached them to the actual block bound? Have you defined any blocks, and have you attached them at the block boundaries?
Yes.
So
what I have to do that is go through the construction of how I do things. That's setting up a signal mask.
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay. The thing that it has to be done in order. In other words, what's going on is this is always red because it's the end of the spur.
Yeah.
This is yellow because the next one is red.
Yep.
If I throw this switch, this one should turn red. So let's see what happens.
Yeah. While we're in operating mode, may I suggest that we switch out of edit mode? So I think people do this. I know you can do it in edit mode, but I would just because it's easier to see visually when it's it's cleaner. I think that a lot of people don't realize sometimes that there is, you can switch edit mode off, and then it just makes it a lot easier to view.
Okay, so 2 things. This sensor is the sensor in the switch clock. This sensor is the sensor in the spur.
Yeah.
Okay.
What can I just make another comment, Richard? Just looking at that, and I see this again quite a lot. You don't have the point circles turned on, which means when you're in this view, you don't have a control place to click for changing your points, which is fine if you've got some other control system doing it. But if you're actually wanting to click on it, if you know where to click, it's okay. But it's not very obvious for people watching maybe to see where you're clicking and why you're clicking there. So if it's possible to show them, that's it. That's brilliant. And we can see the magic circle. You have to click inside.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm learning as I go along on this thing.
Roy's back. I'm going to add him back in again.
Okay. Can you hear me, Roy?
Yeah, I can hear both you and John.
Oh, good.
The time, it's
good.
The video that keeps dropping.
Is it? Might be your broadband's having a problem or something.
I've just checked it, and it's running at 60 odd megabits per second. So I don't know.
Should
why
be okay.
It should be delayed. Yeah. This time it seems to be okay. But how long it'll last for, I don't know.
Okay.
Okay. Good. Well, we're excellent. Carry on, Richard.
I was explaining the SML. The first thing that I want to emphasize and really, really emphasize is don't try and do an SML on anything complicated while you're learning it. Roy, your track setup is much too complicated to implement an SML. What you need to do is first implement it on something as simple as this, and gets complicated very fast. Once you've mastered SML on a diagram like this, then you can think about putting it on something that you have, which is much more complicated. But you have to start it off simply.
Yeah, it's good. Probably good advice.
Yeah, do I start with SSL then rather than SML?
You don't need to. I mean,
Well, I think there are big differences, and I'm not sure how. I've had some problems with SML. So this is SML, as you can see by the title. So what I was saying, I have a signal at the end of my spur, which is always red, because if a train goes beyond that, it derails. This is the sensor indicating occupation of this block. This is a sensor indicating occupation of the turnout block. Using JMRI vocabulary, if a train is going in this direction, it will see two lights. One for the continuous, which is now green because it's closed, and one red because it's called the diverging block, and the diverging block is thrown, so it will remain red. this signal here for trains going in this direction on the continuous block. This block is not occupied, but the train cannot go any further than there, so the signal is yellow. It's a warning. If I look at this signal, it's green for the continuous block because this block is empty and this block is empty. If I occupy this block, this will turn red and this will turn yellow. Watch. I click on here to occupy it. This turns red because now the next block is occupied, and this becomes yellow because the next block is free, but the block after that is occupied. I'll turn off the occupation. And this becomes yellow and this returns to green.
Just in case anyone's watching who's thinking these signal heads are strange, because normally in UK practice you wouldn't have the two coloured masts. You wouldn't see red and green together. This is standard practice in the United States with the routing.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm using the defaults. I'll show you.
Yeah, default. Yeah.
I'm using the defaults in JMRI for the signal heads.
Yeah.
Anything after could be changed, but I thought it best to use the defaults.
Yeah.
Now, if I throw this switch, this one should turn red.
Which one, Richard?
This switch over here.
Where?
Your cursor's disappeared.
Ah, okay. How's my cursor there?
That's, yep.
Okay, if I throw this switch, this signal will turn red. And this one should turn yellow. There. It turns yellow because while this block is free over here, there is no block afterwards. This is the logic set up by SML.
Is that making sense to you, Roy?
Sort of, yeah.
Okay, if I set this block occupied, this is yellow over here because the train can only go into one block. If I set this block occupied, that turns red.
Yeah,
So
red over red. So red because the block ahead is occupied on the main.
And yellow, the block ahead is free, but the block after is occupied.
Yeah.
So that's the SML logic. It's done automatically when you set up SML on something like this.
Or did you use the discover feature of the masts, or did you use another approach to create the logic?
Okay. What I did was I created the masks. Here, let me go back now. Let me change this, and I'll bring this up. I have to do a quit. I'll bring this back up. The first thing I did was, okay, panels, load panel, I added reset and SML at this stage. So this is without any I'll bring the panel up. That is my basic diagram. No SML, nothing is there.
Yeah.
The next step is to add SML logic. there are several ways that this can be done. The first, if I look in tools and I look at signals, tables, signals, I create signal masks. I haven't created any signal masks at this stage of the diagram.
Yeah.
If I do an add mask, add, and here I get this thing, I'll set up a username which m dash, oops, why am I, okay, m dash approach. I'll do a left hand. I'll do an approach from the left.
While you're on that screen,
There,
on
yeah,
that,
okay.
while you've got that pop up, I'd just like to point out, because you may be about to show it, when you click on signal system.
I am.
Yeah, okay, I'll let you carry on then, just in case.
Okay, so left approach is this block over here. That's the approach on the left. What I change now for signal system, what I did was take the default, which is basic model system.
Basic
You have
basic system heads.
Yeah.
Okay, what was that selection called again?
It was basic model.
Basic model signals. Yeah.
Okay. Now,
what I was going to say, Richard, was that there is a BR 2003 mask, which I mentioned previously,
right,
in the drop down there. So that's where if you wanted a model British Railways, you could choose the mast system, which is that. So yeah,
that would be this one. Oops, got BS.
not that one. That's French.
Okay.
But you've got systems for loads of railways around the world. It's quite amazing.
I would not recommend that. I would recommend at first on a simple layout to learn what's going on. You use the basic system.
Yeah,
otherwise
it's not a problem.
Get lost in the complexity. That's getting a British system or an X system is step 2. It's not step 1.
That's a good approach, I would say. Yeah, although it could be a bit confusing to have to learn another system if you really kind of are getting. Yeah. Okay.
The next thing you want to do is define what the mass type is. The mass type, you can have a single, it can be double, it can be high, it can be low. High or low doesn't matter. Unless you have some sort of bridge or something, but it really doesn't matter. What does matter if you're using if it is double or single. What you saw before was a double head, because if I place it here, I have a diverging, and I have a divergent, and I have a continuing track.
Yeah.
If I place it on the other side for trains coming here, it will be single only. So since I'm going to place it over on this side, I'll choose a double. Now, if you look at double, okay, here's where I run into little problems. The simplest to you is when you've been learning things, use virtual mask.
Yeah.
Now, what's interesting here is when you're starting, it has to be simple. You complicate afterwards, not before. Now, here is one complication already if you use virtual. Clear is essentially a green signal. Don't forget, we're dealing with 2 heads, one for the continuous and one for the diverging. It indicates diverging, but it doesn't indicate that the other is continuous. So there's So when I put clear, that means it's the continuous, straight ahead. That's green. Approach would be the yellow on the continuous. Stop would be red on continuous. Then the other head underneath, the diverging is clear. And here the diverging would be yellow. You notice you only have one stop. The stop is used for both of them, unfortunately. It's stupid, but that's the way it is. They should have had another stop. And then if you want the signals to go dark, you have to use an unlit. You have also an unlit thing.
Yeah, you could have on some signal heads even more aspects than that, and the aspect names can relate to the combinations of the colors that you can see on the mast. So the fact you only have stop listed once, stop means the same thing for both heads. So it wouldn't be listed twice because it doesn't mean anything different. So that's why it's only there once.
It should be listed twice because you can have a head with a stop going up onto the divert.
Yeah, but the aspects aren't telling you the names of diverging for a stop or non-diverging. It simply is stop. So
right. If I change the mast signal system, if I use something like I don't know, let's say that doesn't change. That's well, let me not do that. Let me just say that. Bring that down. Now, that's a single. If I'm using a single searchlight, I have clear, approach, and stop. It's the double that will add the divergence.
Yeah, Andy's asked a question in the chat. He said, which specific US system is this? I'm presuming East Coast somewhere.
I have no idea. I don't particularly care. What I wanted to do is get some sort of relatively simple thing working.
Yeah.
That was the only thing I wanted to do. So if I say create, it'll create the mast. And I can edit the mast or I can edit the logic of the thing. What you're saying, John, is I know very well not where to put my feet at the beginning. I know very well where to stop, get that working, then move on to the next step.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so what you have to do is do that. Now, what I can do here, oops, no, I don't want to close that. Here, since the mast depends on this turnout, I right-click on the turnout, and it says Set Signal Masts.
Yeah.
Okay. So the signal mast, the switch name is SW1, which I've called it. And now the question is, where am I putting the mast? I have the mast on the left approach and to the left of the turnout. Okay, I'm going to use that one. I'm going to use the mast I just created. And I'm not going to try and place masts on the other block boundaries for the moment.
Can I just ask why you just selected right-hand side when you said you were going to the left?
If I can butt in here,
yeah. Which side of the track?
Yeah.
Right-hand side means which side of the track the signal will be on.
I think there's a convention in the UK. The signal would be placed to the left, on the left side of the track, as you're approaching it. But in the States, it's on the right.
I don't particularly care. I choose the default.
No, I just think it's the defaults for positioning signals in this system are on the left. Again, that might be a source of confusion if people want to have them on the correct side of the track, but don't seem to be able to do it.
I can put it on the
Okay, yeah, Richard, let me say, you can put it there, but the expectation is that the mast will be facing a certain direction, so you'll then have to rotate it. And unless somebody can tell me otherwise, it does appear that you do end up having.
No, the mast will automatically be put in the one direction, in the good direction. Believe me.
Okay.
What I do is say done, and it'll put it there. That's where the mast will go. There is no mast. You see an X there because I haven't put any logic in yet. The X means the mast position, but there's no logic. If I click on it, there, the mast you can see is now in the correct direction. The mast is for trains coming this way, and the yellow is for the continuous track, and the red is for the diverging track.
Now, going back a moment, Richard, on that, you said, and John said, if you put that mast on the other side of the track, which is the convention for the UK,
it would appear over here.
But the other way around?
No, not at all.
Would you just try that for us?
Can you demonstrate that?
Yes. Okay, now let me go into tables. I have to create the, let's see.
You should can't you just right click on the.
Right, tables, signal masks. It's there. Edit. I have to recreate the mast because there's no way I can modify that now. So what I'll have to do is I'll delete this. Yes. I'll do an add and SM-left
approach.
Basic model signals, a double signal high, virtual.
What's different from the one you had, Richard?
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't think there is anything different. I think you can just right click on the turnout again to
right.
set your masks again.
Yeah, set signal masks there. So I have to choose. It's the left approach. This time I'll put the mast on the left-hand side. Do not place on panel and done. There.
Okay. So if you now click on.
There.
Oh, it has gone the right way around. Okay.
It's the right way around, as I said.
Okay.
Okay, my next step, let me bring up another panel. I don't want to save this. Don't show this again. Quit. Panel Pro, dining, okay. Panel, load panel, SM logic. I'll bring there.
Yeah, Andy's in the chat has asked that it says he imagines it would account for British system. It does indeed. Yeah, BR 2003, Andy. If you look in when you're creating the mast, that's one of the systems you can select, which we went through. If you wind back in this discussion, you'll see that we mentioned that and showed you where you can select that in the drop down.
Yeah, but I don't know what the logic. The supplied logic will be much more complicated. Don't. Okay, panels.
I'm not sure why, Richard, but anyway, okay.
I'm
not sure why.
Logic load. Quick. Oh damn.
I think you meant something else.
Yeah, SML dining. Okay. panels, load panels, auto load. There. What I've done now, what I did was, I'm missing a step. I got the thing. This is after I have created all the logic.
Right, it's the logic that I wanted to look at, how you actually created the logic.
Yeah, well, I can't, okay, well, I'll try, don't show this again. I seem to have misplaced that,
The intermediate point.
While you're looking, Richard, let me just talk with Roy about that, because what I think, there are several ways you can do it. Obviously, from the table in the signal mask table, there's an edit button which takes you into editing the logic, but that really is only for editing, for changing something which already exists. What you want to do is do a right click on the signal mask and then do the signal mask logic from there. And then it gives you a pop-up window which allows you to click on a button called Discover, and it will then go and it will use the paths through your track.
No.
I think you'll find I'm right, Richard. But anyway, you can argue with me for the minute. You'll have to apologise soon.
The problem is I have to set the. I'm going to have to set up the. I somehow lost the thing with the masks.
Okay.
So I showed you how to set up a mask. I'll go through the. It needs a table. Is my table working? If I have to set up the table, it'll take much longer. Tools, tables, lights. Damn, the tables aren't there either. So what I'm going to have to do is set up the tables first, which is going to, I somehow saved something in a bad manner to show the intermediate steps. If Roy will be patient 10 minutes, which is what it will take me to set it up, you and John,
if you carry on, carry on, Richard, and I will talk away with Roy. I'd like to hear from Roy actually about what his projects have been doing, because he's had some success recently in getting some things working, but you were still struggling with something, and I'm trying to remember what it was, Roy, if you could remind me.
It's two areas actually. One of them was to control the actual track power through the DC controller.
Yeah.
So now I tried the things you said and I've had no joy. However, I've not spent a lot of time on it, to be truthful. What I'm doing at the moment is I've now set up a couple of these so I can work in the front room where I'm there. So that's a transmitter. Well, it's a transmitter receiver, but it will be on the actual layout. And this is the part that goes with the receiver part, which actually links into the JMRI with the RR circuits tower controllers. I've made a lot of modifications now to the layout to include these sensors, which are pseudo sensors. One of the things that I'm looking to do now is my layout is getting a little bit cluttered with messages and with labels, and I want to find an opportunity or find a method to be able to turn the labels on and off at will by just having an item on the screen, a button or whatever, where I can turn the labels on and off.
Like this button over here I have on my screen. Look at reset.
Yeah.
I click it. It turns black and green, and I release it and it goes yellow.
Right. But what is that doing?
What that is doing actually is a bunch of things, but the button itself is separate from what it's doing. What the button is doing is
it's setting or resetting the points to
but I don't have to. I just have it. the instinct, it also will set the reset the
sensors. Yeah, yeah, I've got that
but what
already.
it does was when I click it, it turns colors, and when I release the click, there it turns back.
Is that driven by logics though? I think Roy's asking, is it logics behind the scene on that?
Yeah, I've done all that already. I've got that already, Richard. Now then, you see your message in the middle of the screen that says ISIS SNL guiding?
Yeah.
I want a button on the screen that hides that effectively turns it off, and then you click it and it turns it back on again. So like a toggle switch.
Okay, well what I would do is the following. I don't know how to make it disappear, but I do know how to change its color.
Oh, yeah, I know how to do that. Right, the method that I'm looking at...
what you do is to make it disappear is to change its color to the background color.
That's a possibility, yeah.
I mean, these are icons, and the icons. If you right click and then edit the icon, you can change the icon, or you can create your own icons. So I guess you can create an icon which is just the same color as the background. Effectively, it could be any shape or anything.
Right.
And then it will vanish, won't it?
Yeah, it should. But see.
And then you can have that. You have that as the inactive state or the active state, whichever you want, and then your logic can control it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a method. I was looking at it now. Okay.
I don't know if there's
partially.
If I say set, what colors are available? To make it, I don't know how to make it disappear except by changing its color.
Right. The thing that I was looking at, which I've done on one of the other parts of my layout, is to actually use memory areas, to use a memory, and then change the value of the memory to effectively a null string. And I've done that already.
I mean, if it's a block value, you can literally double click on it and type in some contents, or you can double click on it and delete the content. It leaves a tiny little square when there's nothing there on the screen, and when it's got something in it, then it expands to the size that you've defined. So that's another way of that's what I'm using for showing the head codes of trains in blocks.
Well, I don't know if you remember when I demonstrated my bit of a layout. It's got 3 statuses, which are the status of the process, and the messages change as it's going through the steps, and that is using a memory variable. Now, what Richard was saying there, changing the text colour to the same colour as the background is fine if it's a static message. But if that message is changing, then you can't use that. You've got to do it.
If the message is null, i.e. there's no message in that bit of data, does it show anything on the screen?
No.
Well, that's it then. That's it then.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But I just wondered whether there was an alternative way of doing it other than using a memory. Because one of the things I have noticed somewhere it talks about layers, about the panel being in 4 layers.
Well, 10 layers, I think.
Is it 10?
I think you can go to 10, yeah.
Right, okay. So I didn't know whether it was feasible to put all the messages on a different layer and then turn the layer on and off.
I was hoping that in the new Logix NG you had more capabilities for doing some things with icons. But I was thinking icons particularly. I did have a look this morning at that. Right. And I couldn't actually see how. Maybe I missed it, but I couldn't see that there was anything in addition really to what the old Logix had for controlling that. Although I thought I read in some comments somewhere that was going to be introduced as part of this new Logix NG, next generation Logix. But I think I'll have to look at that a bit further to see what's going on there. But maybe something's missing at the moment. It sounded like you could manage screen kind of icons and stuff much more in a much more detailed way.
Okay.
So there may be something coming along.
Right. Okay, I'm quite happy with that. One of the things Richard was talking about, using a layout similar to this for testing, and I'm actually looking at my current end-to-end layout. I can do exactly that, obviously in a restricted area, just by using the center track and the top track, which simulates that.
Yeah, well, yeah, you can do it. You should do it any way any way you can.
Yeah.
It's that simple. But I like the U.S. expression "kiss."
Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah, or if you're talking to your boss, it's "keep it simple, sir."
Yeah. You
Okay.
hope he gets the right one of those.
Yeah.
So here's okay. So what I've done now is I have my signal mast defined. This is the mast at the turn. These are the signal masts at the turnout. So I right click on where I want to put the mast on the turnout, set signal mast, the block, and I look at the block boundary, boundaries. So it's the left approach to the left turnout is this one. I'll put it on the left side, and that is this signal mast. Here I have the boundary between the main here and the left turnout, so I'll put that on the left. And this is the continuous track over here, so it's left continuous. This is the left diverging track, left-hand side, done. And now I do done. I get all three of them placed.
Okay.
I have to do the same thing here. So these were defined. This was defined as a double, and these two were defined as singles. So now I do set mastheads. I'm working off of this switch, turnout name SW2. Everything's on the left-hand side. This is the approach over here. So the approach would be right turnout. The signal mast is the continuous one over here. And this is the diverging one. And I do done, and that pops up correctly. Then this is the end. This is so I click on here, set signal masts.
When you say click on here, where did you click, Richard?
Right click on the end connector.
Yeah. Right, okay.
Yeah.
It's not a connector anymore.
No,
well,
it's an end stop.
A buffer stop. Just a word of warning, Richard. Just a word of warning for yourself and for others, because you're seeing what you're doing there. You're actually dragging the sensor as you try to click on it. It's a good idea to disable movements of your panel. So if you change the movement thing while you're doing this kind of action, it prevents. Because to be honest, it's something I'm the worst culprit at. I'm trying to set signals on places, and I'm pulling bits of track all over the place, and I keep forgetting I should be doing it. But you can turn it off under one of the options on the
options at the bottom.
Track options.
No, grid options.
Grid option.
I think allow reposition. Try allow. If you go in there again, you've got allow repositioning ticked at the moment. Up. There. Just take that out for now, and I think that will prevent you moving things around.
Yeah, it does. Thanks.
Yeah. Just keeps it all nice and.
So I click on there. Set signal masts.
Right. Okay.
And signal mast this time it's the right up. I've defined the signal mast.
Yeah.
Left hand side, done. There we are.
Okay.
Excellent.
So what I'll do is save my panel. Store panel, signal masks, store. Okay, there, it's stored. Now okay, everything is all set up, except there's no logic for the moment.
Right.
So what I have to do is now set up the logic. So if I remember, let's see, I forgot where that damn thing was hidden. Tools, roster panel.
You're looking for signal mask logic and the signals?
Yeah. 1 second, I have it set up over here. Use tools, automatic generation of logic, tools, signal, it's under signal mask logic. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll bring that back up. Tools, tables, signals, signal mask logic. Okay. Then it's under tools, auto generation signal pairs.
Ah.
It's that what you do.
Yeah, if you
owe me a cup of coffee, John, on that one. Why?
Well,
auto generate signal pairs. I click on that. Layout blocking is not enabled. I have to say yes. Okay. Generates sections from mask pairs. Yes. Generation of signal pairs completed. And there you are.
That's, yeah.
And as I say, you owe me a cup of coffee for that.
I do. I knew there was another way. I just forgotten.
Okay. I like it. I like it.
Okay. Now my logic is set up. If I throw the switch here, oops, it's yellow because it can only go one block because it's the end here. The next block after is red, and this is red because the switch is thrown. If I set this block to occupy, that goes red.
Can we just go into the right click of the, because I think it's instructive to see what it comes up with if you right click on the mask and look at signal mask logic.
Okay.
Now we're at this point.
The mask, signal mask. This is the okay. I'll do this some. Oops. Okay, signal mask logic. What I did was right click on here. So this is the diverging track.
Yeah.
Signal mask logic.
That one there. Okay, now this is if you haven't managed to succeed in getting it to work the other way, because sometimes it fails, because if you're working on quite a large panel, there can be issues that come up with block connectivity and all sorts of things, and then it won't work. So you can end up struggling to actually make it do the job, which we can come back to and talk another time about.
Right.
But you're absolutely right to do things how you have. But this allows you to see now something about how the mask is actually, the logic is actually set up.
Yeah.
One of the things I would do straight away is just click on the included radio button in the middle of the screen there, up a bit.
Oh, okay.
Yep, that one there. Yeah, it just stops it looking quite so confusing. What you get in here is two panels. The higher, the one in the middle of the screen, we'll kind of ignore for now because it will be empty. But the one at the bottom of the screen is what's been automatically generated. And if you look at the top of the screen, it's got path, speed restricted. It's got some ticks for use layout editor paths, use turnout details from layout editor, use block details for layout editor. If you did a discover that, which is on the previous screen that came up, you will get on there. Yeah, if you do that, it will produce exactly the same thing. So it says it's completed. It's already there. So click OK. It won't have done anything. It won't have added anything because it's already there. If you modified your layout at all, so say I'd added an extra siding in somewhere, and all I wanted to do was correct that signal mast logic, I can do a discover from that mast, and it will do that.
Let me backtrack, and we can do it because I've got things set up now correctly. Oops, quit there. So if I do panel, I'll bring up Panel Pro. I'll bring up Dining. Okay. I'll bring up panels. Load panels. This should have the signal mask without the logic. Right. It's got the signal mask now. There's no logic.
Okay.
So now
you can do it discover route by right clicking on one of them and clicking on discover.
Just 2 ticks. I'm just going to nip out for a second.
Okay, well.
I'll be back in a minute.
Okay. Yep. As you can see, I set things up step by step, which is
absolutely.
Is at any point I can go backwards. With that.
Yeah.
My Normandy thing is more complicated, and I have no idea how I'm going to start working on that. The first thing I have to do now is get my signals, my real signals work, and get rid of the virtual signals on 4 of my signals, and use one Sans suggestion on integrating the signal heads into the signal mask, which is what you read this morning. And the other one is there's another suggestion, but I haven't looked at it. But what I would like to be able to do is set up the signal masks with a matrix output and get that working. But I don't know how to do that for the moment.
Okay.
And in terms of logic NG, I won't touch that with a 10-foot pole.
Well, I did touch it. It's not intuitive, to be honest.
It needs more work.
It does need more work. It's not. At the moment, you have to click into the help. You have to read some of the help. It's not quite there yet.
I'll wait for another
the thing about signal masts and setting them up using logic, as far as automation is concerned, if you are going to be using automation, you can it will if you've added, what you've done is a process then which has added some sections automatically. So I'm quite interested. Sorry. So I'm quite interested to see what sections it's produced and whether those could be turned into transits easily, and how they're described, because it's all well and good doing things automatically sometimes, but later on you might find that it doesn't help you because it's just not set up in the way you would like it to be set up. So could we go into your sections table and have a little look at what it's actually built?
Sure. No problem. I completely agree with you. When I set up the SSL, I actually did it manually. I did not use, when I set up the SSL, I did not use auto-generate. There's no equivalent of an auto-generate. When you're doing SSL, you have to know what the sensors you're protecting are, and what the turnouts that you're protecting.
You have to add it in,
Yeah, you have to do it by hand.
Yeah. So let's have a look at your sections then. I'll just tell Roy while you're doing that, Richard, what we're doing. I was just talking with Richard about what happens in terms of using that automated process as far as automation goes. If you're trying to set up transits for automation, which requires sections to be built, because we've just automatically added. Oops, is that your? I'll mute you, Roy. No, it's Roy's. Right. I think he's just hung up.
Bring up the thing, roster panels, load panel. Okay, this is when I set up the logic. Okay, now the logic has all been set up. Let's look at we can look at the sections.
Look at the sections table. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to do it in steps because I can always go back and check.
Yeah, go to your main JMRI menu.
Let me go to the options. Allow repositioning.
No, you're in the wrong. Oh, right.
Okay.
So
now
you're losing me.
Go to the section table.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. Tools. Excellent.
Where the sections are.
Down a bit. That's it.
It's blank. There are none. Blocks
right.
Table.
And that I find intriguing because
the block table's there.
There's blocks. Yeah. I'm sure it described it as being sections, or somebody did. Was it you? Maybe.
No, it described it as when you do the automation, it will set up the sections.
I think it means blocks, doesn't it? Perhaps. But you already had. Did you have blocks previously?
Yeah. Well, I set up the blocks at one of my first steps. One of my first steps in doing this was layout blocks, sensors.
Yeah. So there's
in that order.
Yeah. So there are no sections. So what it means by that, I don't know.
Okay. On the SSL there are sections. Basically, because when I was doing the SSL, when I was doing the SSL, I put the turnout here block and this into the same section because the problem was one of transits. If I wanted to transit between here and here, I had to have the two sections contiguous. And the only way to do that was to find a third section for this block or put this block into this.
Into that one. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it makes sense sometimes in different ways to do it differently, but it depends on various things. But
there's a basic difference in philosophy between SSL and SML. That's why I don't want to touch Logic NG until it's well advanced. I mean, I have other things I want to do which are more important.
Right, I think I can unmute Roy again. Sorry, Roy, I muted you, mate.
No, that's fine. I understand that.
Okay.
I was on the doctor's booking me for my next review.
So what we've just seen is that even though we thought maybe we had some sections automatically generated, the section table is empty. So we don't mean we've generated sections, but you were saying there are still sections, Roy, and what you mean by a section then is what exactly? What did you mean by that? Sorry, not Roy. Sorry, Richard. I said Roy then. I meant Richard. Sorry, Richard.
Right.
Okay. If I look at the SSL stuff I did, which I haven't looked at because you got John's responsible for getting me to look at SML. If I look at Panel Pro, let me open that up. SSL. As you can see, I'm fairly well organized. Okay. Panels, load panel. Signals. I define my sections from in here. If I look at I've also got forward and reverse. My signals are defined. So if I load the last, and here I was working on transits. So if I load that there. Now, since I've defined sections, if I look at sections here, I had to do it. I had no choice. In order to define transits only work with sections. Oops, damn. There. Tools, tables, sensors, sections. There. Okay. So I have my left section there, which is over here. And if I edit it, and the first block in my left section is the left block, and the last block in my left section is the switch.
Yep.
You can see the edit. I had to do that in order to use transits.
Yep. Yep. That's fine. That's
so you there you can actually see the sections. This sensor over here, if I click on let me do a reset. There. Now, if I click on this, the sensor is a block sensor. It is not a section sensor. The same over here. Now, one of the things I did on this is these are occupation sensors. I'm anticipating putting stop sensors in each thing using infrared. These will be the stop sensors. They're off they're off the track. For the moment that they're not working. But codification is one of the things I'm being very careful on as I learn. Also, you also have
carry on.
You also have
forward and reverse,
reverse and forward directions. They're arbitrary, but they have to be defined.
Yeah.
Using SSL. So arbitrarily, I defined this is reverse, and this is forward. They'll be used in transits, and I also have what are called forward and reverse sensors. You can see the labels. I was going to put the sensors themselves under the labels off the track and see how they work. But this is why I set something up rather simple, a rather simple layout. If you go into a complicated layout like you have at the moment, you'll never sort things out.
No. Do you have in your sensor table then any forward and reverse sensors at the moment?
Yes, I'll show you the table.
Well, don't worry about showing me the table. Don't worry about that, because all I'd like you to do.
I can put them on the layout.
Well, that's what I'm doing. Don't shut things down. Don't close things.
I wasn't going to. I was going to.
Yeah, if you just.
What I can do is put.
Yeah, select the radio for sensors.
Sensor.
That's the one. Yep.
And I've got a whole bunch of things defined.
Yeah.
And this is the forward sensor.
Okay, let's just stick a forward and a reverse on for sensor, for the first. Shift. Yep. Shift click.
I'll shift click. I have to put a label there. That's the forward. These are the labels I have here. That's forward. Then let me do a reverse.
Sensor icon. That would be your sensor icon field. Yeah.
Yeah, sensor icon. Reverse one.
Shift click.
And there we are. And that goes over there.
Yeah, lovely.
And I've got
click on those once for me, so they're just not showing indeterminate state, because that's fantastic. Now, if you just want to just show people something, if you right click on one of those icons.
I'll right click on one of these.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll right click on the reverse.
And then choose edit icon, edit sensor icon.
Edit sensor icon.
Yep.
Okay.
Now this is where, just make that window a little bit bigger because it's a bit. Oh wow! Don't. Yeah. Okay. What you can see here is we've got 4 states: so unknown, active, inconsistent, and inactive.
Right. I haven't looked
And
at that yet, so you have to tell me what to do.
well, what I would say is that that's showing you the 4 states of that icon at the moment. So if you click the icon on the panel again, it will go yellow. Just click on, just click on one. Yep. So it's got. So now you can see that's the active state. If you click it again, it will go inactive. So basically, it's not showing unknown or inconsistent, which is what comes up when you first start the panel up. So you have to obviously, it either has to interrogate the sensor status from some equipment on your layout, which has remembered it, or it has to be initialized.
I can initialize it with reset. I have it. But
yeah.
Because if I look into my reset table,
so you've got a script running, yeah.
If I look into if I look in tools, tables, routes, there, edit. What I've initialized for the moment is just my turnouts.
This is something completely different, Richard. We're not initializing a route.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, but I'm using initializing routes. I've called the username init because what happens is if I look at it, this part of it, there, if I go into L routes, tools, tables, L routes, I have init, and it will initialize actions the way I want them to, and it will do it on the initialization. So I can have the actions, I can attach actions, I can do triggers, I can do locks, all sorts of things. This is why I set it up that way.
This is a different thing altogether. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
That's interesting. I've not seen that used in that way before.
Okay.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, back up a second. Let's go back to our panel. Right. Yeah, back to this window here. Now, if you just pull that up a bit higher, just pull up so we can see the options down below, because one of the options is change icon.
Right.
So if we click on that, and now we get a tree structure on the left. Right. So just expand the tree a moment, yep, and click in icons. You've got all kinds of things in here. Now try Armstrong, just for a laugh. Okay, let's maximize that window a minute. Okay, now this is some these are some signal or point levers. Okay. So you can see you could change that icon to be a point lever if you wanted.
Right.
And it's got, so what you can do, let's just do it to demonstrate, because I think that's a useful exercise for people. Okay. Well, we'll do it with an actual, let's find, because what I'm thinking of doing, and I haven't done it yet, but what I'm thinking of doing is using an actual arrow for my up and down direction icon. So within here somewhere, there are some arrows. Now, I can't remember quite where they are, but there are some arrows in one of those somewhere. You might have to, there are, that had some, go back. There you are, you've been lucky. Track, yeah. Just click on the main folder there, the track folder.
Left 2.
Click on track.
Click on the track itself.
Yeah, that one. There you are, look.
Yeah.
On the right-hand side there.
Okay.
So if you drag, if you want the active to be, I think if you forward is the left-hand icon on the screen, and forward is going, which way is forward? Going to the right. Then because these, when your direction sensors go inactive, that is when they are live.
Yeah.
So it's so inactive when it's off will show you the direction. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that can make sense. There, it's done.
Yeah, so that would be reverse when that's active.
Yeah.
So you could do that, which is, I think, is quite that's quite useful because it actually points where things are going, doesn't it, as well?
Right. And if you have a loop, you have to define the same thing in terms of clockwise or counterclockwise. Because if you use reverse and forward, depends if you're on the upper end or lower of the map.
I have that. I have a big spiral.
Right. So you should define clockwise and counterclockwise in that.
Yeah.
In that sense.
I started using east and west just because I figured where the signal box was situated, my panel was kind of looking out from the signal box almost, except it was flipped over.
Well,
and then I thought, hang on a minute, east and west. Well, east is going to London. Okay, so east is up towards London, west is towards the coast somewhere, but then trains going to Penzance actually head up to the other way, and that's west. So I got into a right muddle with it all, I tell you.
Well, Penzance, if you can escape the pirates, tends to be in the west.
I'm muting you, Roy, because you're ripping paper a bit loud, mate. No, we can't hear you now. Okay. Sorry, that was a bit loud then. That was a bit loud. So we've been on here for a good hour and a half, so I think we've covered some really interesting things.
I'm going to have a go at that at some point. So, but I'll speak to you again shortly or soon.
Okay, thanks, Roy.
Cheers for now. Cheers, Richard.
The east is on the left.
I'm not sure if he caught what you were saying then. There's a bit of a delay, Richard, so I don't know if he heard that. What were you saying, sorry?
If you look at stargazing maps, east is left and west is right.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the opposite of if you're looking at a regular map.
Yeah, that's interesting.
No, it all depends.
Is it? Is that true? Is it true?
Because you're on the if you're looking at a globe, you're on the outside of the globe. But if you're stargazing and looking at the sky, you're on the inside of the globe.
Okay, I'll defer to your better judgment on that one. Okay. Yeah, I think one thing that can get confusing with this forward and reverse thing, and then we'll call it a day, I think, on this. Okay. It's just in the transits when you're in sections when you're building sections. What we didn't look at then in your section table was the fact that it comes up and has the connected blocks, and you have to manually go through and click to say forward or reverse.
Right.
In there, that's actually a time-consuming task. If you have complex track work and you're trying to figure things out, it can take you a while, because if you get that wrong, it will just cause your trains to go haywire.
I'm not sure where it is, but it's in here someplace.
Yeah, if you edit.
It's edit there.
Yeah, there. Yeah.
I've had to set them up. I made mistakes while doing it.
Well, this one's a little strange in a manner because it's got two train direction, both the reverse. So can we just look at which block you're looking at there?
Yeah. This is this block.
This is this block. So yeah. So the
this block on the diverging track or on the main track.
Yeah. So you've what? Right. So what you've said here is that entering from those blocks, the travel direction is reverse, but that seems to be the opposite to what you've actually defined your panel as.
No, look, reverse is in this direction.
Oh no, you're right. I just can't see that for looking. That's all right. Yeah, you're right.
That's one reason
Yeah,
I put it up. That's one reason I put it up there, because I was going crazy. And I like things in as much as possible to be self-documented.
Yeah, I need new glasses. These are getting scratched to pieces. I can hardly see a thing out of them.
Right.
I need new ones. But yeah, so that is on there. Yeah, so you've got to basically, yeah, coming into that section. Now, what that, yeah, so forward from that section is traveling in a forward direction. Yeah, there's only one way to go backwards, or effectively reverse. You end up heading towards the head shunt, the buffer stop, but in forwards you can go to two places. Yeah, but the section is requesting which way trains enter a block, and as they can only enter in a reverse direction, that's why both of those are reverse. I think I've got that right.
Yeah. It's your fault that I haven't been dealing with transits, because you turned me on to dealing with SML this past week. And I got everything on SML. I was just setting up my transit panels.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that's looking good, Richard. I think you've certainly got your head around a lot of features there, and it's certainly coming together. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good.
A big change from a month ago.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's an hour and 41 minutes. We're into this 42. So we've missed Little Wicket Railway in the chat. He popped in and popped out. Says that. Hopes to catch up later, but SL and SML are areas that seem to go wrong quite easily for me. Sure, there are some tricks to be learned. And Andy Ambrose, who's been watching as well, says, yeah, they go wrong for me too. Lol. So, yeah, absolutely. These things can be appear to be very difficult until you realize the tricks you need to do to get them to be right. And one of the main tricks, I think, is that the discovery logic sometimes doesn't always discover what you want it to discover, and you do have to set things up manually for various reasons. But probably.
I'm well aware of from my computer experience. I'm well aware of when things are simple, they're nice. When things get a little more complicated, you sort of have to go in by hand. And the only way you can go in by hand is having done the simple things first, so you can understand what's going on under the water.
Yeah. I'm thinking next week, probably what a good idea would be to go in and actually modify something and see the effect it has. I mean, we talked a bit about deleting paths, but that is when things can get broken very easily, and then it can become quite confusing as to why things don't work then. But we can go through the steps as to how to fix that, because I think that's
There's two things I'd like to do. The first thing is close this and make a loop.
Yeah.
Here, and put a couple of and on this side of the loop put a couple of blocks.
Yeah.
And once that's done, once that's working, at that stage, modify that by adding a switch and a spur.
Yeah. Okay. And I'll expect you to come back as well with some transits built, and then we can run some auto trains.
Hopefully. Yeah, what I did is I ordered from Germany 2 things which I got in the mail today.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have 2 minutes and I'll show you?
Yeah, 2 minutes. Yeah. For those of you who are still tuned in or still watching at this very late stage, you've been an hour and 44 in, or you've just popped in live now. We've had a fascinating discussion and exploration into setting signal masts onto a panel for use with JMRI. This is Richard's panel, and this is Richard coming back. So, oh, has he or hasn't he? Anyway, yeah, if anyone wants to join in future chats, we meet on Wednesday at 2 p.m. hopefully each week. You'll be welcome to join in the live stream. I will post the link in the chat so you can click on that and then join in with video if you want to. If you've got questions about JMRI and so on and so forth, or want to share what you've been doing, that'd be really good. I'm hoping this is going to develop as we move along to look at operations more, and I'd like eventually, when I can get up into my attic and start working on the layout again, to be doing this from the attic live with some trains running, and maybe we'll see some live streams from other people who've been using JMRI as well. So look forward to great things on the channel. Oh, what have you got there? Hang on. Let me maximize my screen a second. So a Fleischmann loco of some sort.
In the box, yeah.
Looks like a diesel. Is that a French?
No, it's
French engine? Russian, okay. Nice.
Let's see, I can't, can you there? Oops, there it is.
Yeah. What class of engine is that?
I have no idea, but it looks nice.
Okay.
And I thought it'd be nice to have a little Russian diesel.
Show us the front perspective.
Let's see. Oh, there it is. Okay.
There. Okay. Yeah, cool. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, then I ordered, I've already tested it. I know it works. And I ordered 2 buildings in kits. This is one that looked interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Great. Nice house, yeah.
And the other one was even more interesting, which is this one.
Mm-hmm. Is that?
It's some sort of castle in Germany.
Now I've seen something like that on a restoration program, and you know what it was? No. It was a mill. It was a mill.
Okay.
Yeah, basically they had a big grinding stone in the ground floor, and then all the flour is poured through from the upstairs. I mean, they used to have sails attached and things, but then as time went past, they replaced that with electric machinery and got rid of the sails, and so and then eventually they stopped being mills and they become houses for people or offices or something.
Yeah.
So.
So,
cool.
And then I have another thing I ordered. Oops. I ordered, let's see if I can bring that up. Where would it be?
Do you want to show me on your screen, or shall I remove your share now? So you're still sharing.
Yeah, I want to show it on the screen, so I want to bring that up on the screen. I'm just trying to think where the hell it was. Oh, I have to bring up no, that's SteamYard. I don't want to bring that up.
I'm removing you because you're showing a fair amount of your file names and stuff, so I'd rather you didn't do that, so I've switched you off for a moment.
Okay, now it's a metal kit of a tramway.
Okay.
Which I ordered.
Okay, well, you haven't got it yet, so
no, I'll have it.
It will be turning.
The problem is I thought I was ordering it from Holland, but unfortunately I ordered it from the UK.
Oh.
And why I say unfortunate, I'm waiting to see what French Customs has to say about it coming into France.
I'd like to hear as well. Yeah.
Yeah, if I get away without having to pay the customs duty on it, I'll be very, very happy.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Richard, and appreciate your contribution. I hope your pacemaker is all beating away nicely there.
Oh, it seems to be. I'm a little sore over here, but they'll take the stitches out Friday, so that's
cool. Okay, well, it's nice to have you back with us and sharing your very interesting development. So appreciate your direction you've given us today. So
is explain to Roy to do things simply at first.
I think it's a lesson we all need to learn.
It's something I learned painfully over the past years, because I took one look at the switching network and said, "Oh my God."
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll meet again next week. Do it all again.
Okay.
Yeah. Until then.
Next week then. Bye bye.
Yeah. Thanks. Bye.